And we start from the Ashanti region. Survivors of a ghastly accident that claimed 6 lives at Akomadan are blaming the driver of the bent bus for the crash. They say he failed to heed police signals to stop and ended up crashing into a stationary Kia towing truck at the police checkpoint. But some of the survivors say the police could have done more to save the burning passengers. 6 persons were burnt beyond recognition and 22 others sustained minor injuries when the Kumasi-bound bus collided head-on with a Kia towing vehicle at the police checkpoint at Akomadan. Love FM's Erastus Asare Donko has been interacting with some survivors and filed this report.
It's a sad day today here at Akomadan, and just before you reach the main town, this is by the roadside. It's the Offenso Techima Kintampo Highway, and this is where this accident occurred. Now what you see behind me is what is left of the bus that was carrying passengers from Babli, close to Wa, heading towards Kumasi. Now we do understand that there is a barrier, police checkpoint, just right here to my right, and the police had stopped the Kia towing vehicle, which is just sitting ahead of me right here. And so as they were checking on the driver, this bus at top speed rammed into that vehicle and caught fire and started burning with the passengers in there. What we do know at the moment is that 6 people have been confirmed burnt beyond recognition. 22 of them managed to escape. And one of them is this gentleman who is standing right in front of the vehicle here looking for his brother who he was with in the bus.
This 15-year-old boy lost his father in the accident. He and 2 others who were on board the bus shared their experiences with Love News.
So he's telling me that he was sleeping at a point in time, and so as to how the vehicle had this accident, he doesn't know. But then there was so much noise within the vehicle, and the vehicle was full of smoke. They couldn't see anywhere. And so that is where he got to know that something has happened. And he managed to break a glass at the back of the vehicle, and he managed to get out of the bus alive. But he was with his brother. He's been searching for the brother since then. He has not been able to find him. He says, well, he's been searching for him all day, and since he has not found him, it means that now he thinks that he might be part of those who got burnt.
He
tells me that he was in the vehicle with his father, and he blames the driver of the bus for the accident which occurred. And I asked him why. He says he was speeding, and when the police stopped him, he wouldn't stop, and he crashed into the Kia towing vehicle. At that point, he says the people were in the vehicle when it crashed. He was trying to find a way to get out. At the point, he saw that they cracked the window open, and then he also came out. But that was the point where he realized the father was not with him and that he has been burnt in the vehicle.
In all, 17 persons were rushed to the Janice Peaks AME Zion Hospital here at Akomadan Afrancho. Ernest Owusu-Ansah is in charge of the emergency ward of the hospital.
We had 1 child, and we had a total of 11 males and 6 females. Some sustained minor bruises, no obvious fracture, no catastrophic bleeding, so everyone is virtually stable.
Some of them say they expected the police to do more at the scene to aid passengers out of the burning vehicle.
So what Michael, he's a survivor from the vehicle, has been telling me is that if the police who were standing around at that particular point had made an effort to come to the vehicle, break the windows to try to rescue some people, more people could have been rescued.
But Akomadan District Police Commander DSP Jesse Ajiman says the police did their best under the circumstances.
Personally, I wasn't on duty there, but what they told me is that
The little that they could do at that time, they did it. They were able to rescue 22 out of the number that were on board. And the 6 got burned. It's unfortunate. They say it's not just only 6. But the best that they could do at that time, that is what they did.
Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asaredonko, Kumasi.
Let's head to the phone lines now and speak with Henry Asumini. He is the Senior Manager of Programs and Planning at the National Road Safety Authority. Thank you very much, Mr. Asumini, for your time here on Joy News Prime. More than 20 dead, several others injured, all in 2 days. Is the Road Safety Authority's plan to reduce carnage on our roads working?
Good evening to our viewers and good evening to you at Multimedia. Before everything, I'd like to express my condolences to the families who have their family members involved in these 2 crashes that have claimed about 23 lives in 2 days. This is something that is very worrying, and no country wants such things to be happening on its roads. So, as I said, my condolences goes to these families and also to the injured. I wish them speedy recovery, and I hope that they all come out healed. Thank you very much. Yes, when such things happen, is very worrying, especially at the National Road Safety Authority and among road safety stakeholders within the country and the country as a whole. As the National Road Safety Authority, yes, we don't want such things to happen. And if you realize that now a lot of education on road safety is going on. Even I would want to also commend Multimedia, especially Joy FM and Adom FM, for the campaigns that you are running in relation to road safety. These are awareness creations that I think now most people, most road users have heard of these awareness creations, these are road safety awareness, and maybe it is time to start cracking the whip so that people fall in line.
But Mr. Asumini, the direct question I ask is whether your plan to address carnage on our roads is working. And I ask this because you rightly mentioned you have been doing some education, but have you reviewed the approach, for instance, to find out if this is going down to the people? The people who survived the accident, for instance, blamed the driver. At some point, they say he was sleeping. And so I'm asking if your plan is working.
Okay. I'm actually addressing your question because if you ask if our plan, you see, when it comes to road safety, although the National Road Safety Authority is the lead agency, it is not just the actions of the authority that can bring these accidents down. So before you do anything, you realize I was talking about the awareness creation, which even your station is part of.
Indeed.
So with this awareness being created, I was trying to explain, yes, people are listening to it. Now we are at the stage where people should adhere to this. If you look at these 2 accidents, let me just pick the one that happened this morning first. They say it's a U-turn bus that was traveling from Nandom to Kumasi. If you pick Nandom to Kumasi, you realize that this is a distance. If you are using the normal, you realize from Nandom to Kumasi, it's more than a 6-hour drive. So during investigations, what do we look out for? What we look out for is, one, did the driver stop somewhere to rest? Which you are speaking to some of the survivors. We haven't been to the scene yet. Our regional office was at the scene this morning.
Okay.
But did the driver stop to rest? Then if you look at yesterday's accident, you realize the bus was coming from Medina through Kumasi up north. Did the driver, did they stop at anywhere to rest? Did they do a changeover of drivers? You see, these are certain things that as even operators, transport operators, we should be asking ourselves, can one driver take passengers from Nandom straight down to Kumasi?
So these are some of the things that we have been educating, people about, and the transport operators. You talk about cracking the whip. When are we going to see action so that even before a bus sets off, you are sure the Road Safety Authority has a mechanism of checking to make sure that this actually is being done, that they're following the process?
Yes. If you realize, one of the mandates of the authority is to regulate these transport operators. But you cannot regulate these transport operators without the regulation coming into force. It will become difficult. If I would hint on some of the things in the regulation, you realize one of the key things in the regulation is that each station operated by a transport operator should have a road safety officer. This is an officer who will be employed by themselves, trained by us to do their road safety, their safety work. Then apart from that, we would have road safety inspectors who from time to time would visit these lorry parks to ensure that they are adhering to the rules and regulations as prescribed by the procedures in the regulations. As at this stage, the regulations is on its way to Parliament, where it will be passed. And as soon as it is passed, we will see some actions being taken when it comes to the regulation of transport operators.
Very well.
In the meantime, hello?
Yes, just finish the point, sir.
Okay. In the meantime, the authority is engaging these transport operators, and we are, if you realize, we gave us some 5 directives, which included addressing the problem of fatigue. The problem of fatigue, we use the directives was the use of 2 drivers for long distance journeys, where we even advise that it is advisable even to station the other driver at some midpoint where he will take over the vehicle when the person gets there. Another one is also to ensure insist on the rest stops by the use of logbooks and then tachographs within the vehicle.
Mr. Ansumeni, we ran out of time on this, but I want to thank you for your time here on Joy News Prime, and that's the Senior Manager in charge of Programs and Planning at the National Road Safety Authority.